everyone, it's nice to meet you again with the Disney 3D Art channel. In today's video it will be the character Lord Grigon from the movie Elio. Lord Grigon is the main antagonist of the 2025 Disney Pixar animated feature film Elio. He is the warmongering, power-obsessed ruler of the planet Hylarg and father of Glorden, who becomes friends with a human boy named Elio Solis. For Grigon, every waking moment of his life is a battle for him. From eating his mother when he was alive to working his way up to being the Lord and Chief Ambassador of Hylarg to taking the supposed ruler of Earth, Elio Solis, under his wing to teach him about the ins and outs of the communiverse, there's no challenge Grigon finds himself unable for. Grigon is a harsh, ruthless, war-mongering ruler who commits massacres on the planets he conquers. His bloodthirsty side is shown when he uses flower-like alien critters for target practice, and even massacring dozens of them to vent off his anger. He's also shown to collect skulls of his many kills victims and encase them in amber, displaying them as trophies. Grigon's most defining trait is his short temper and proneness to lash out in anger when he doesn't get what he wants, such as vowing to forcibly take over the communiverse and blowing up the ceiling after they reject him membership. He also gets particularly ticked off when he's insulted, even if unintentionally or tricked, as shown when he had Elio locked up in his ship's dungeon after he unwittingly implied Grigon was a bad father, and when he openly attacked the communiverse after discovering he'd been handed over a clone instead of his real son. However, Grigon isn't without his own virtues and was willing to keep his promises. After vowing on his Hylargian honor to leave the communiverse alone if Glorden was returned to him safe and sound, he was shown willing to keep his word and would have left hadn't he realized Elio's deception. And despite his ruthlessness, Grigon was capable of forgiving others as seen when he saw Elio help save Glorden's life. In the end, he frees all the capture's ambassadors and apologizes to them and Elio for the trouble he's caused after he's reunited with Glorden. Grigon is shown to have a complicated relationship with his son. Glorden heavily implies that his father doesn't spend much time with him, which is seemingly confirmed by Grigon's annoyed response to Glorden calling for him, "Tell him I'm busy." Despite this, Grigon could tell his own son apart from a clone, and he cared for him enough to promise on his Hylargian honor to leave the communiverse alone if Glorden was returned to him. And once the clone ruse is discovered, he has his armada tear through the communiverse to look for the real Glorden. Deep down, Grigon truly loves his son, as he was willing to sacrifice his honor by tearing his armor open, a great taboo in Hylargian culture, in order to swaddle Glorden and save his life in the climax. When Glorden finally confesses that he doesn't want to follow in his footsteps, Grigon reveals he knew all along and assures Glorden that while he may not always understand him, he'll always love him. Grigon was first shown demanding the communiverse for membership, claiming his weapons and their technology could make an invincible alliance. However, when they deny him the membership due to his war-mongering ways, Grigon decides to take the communiverse by force if he can't join it. To keep himself from being sent back to Earth, Elio travels to Grigon's flagship to negotiate with him. The negotiation goes well at first, with Grigon being impressed with Elio's trick shot. He was actually trying to miss the target, and taking to heart his words about finding a community that will accept him the way he is. However, things go south after a guard informs Grigon that his son is calling for him, and Grigon tries to relate to Elio about the hardships of fatherhood, thinking he's also a father. Grigon is offended when Elio suggests he send his son away if he's too much to handle, believing that Elio is looking down on him for being unable to control his own son. In a rage, Grigon empties his hand cannon on hundreds of targets before ordering Elio be taken to the ship's dungeons, telling the boy he'd watch from his cell as he, Grigon, destroys his beloved communiverse. Sometime later, Grigon was called by none other than Elio, who'd escaped from his prison and kidnapped Glorden to use as a bargaining chip to the warlord's shock. Elio demanded that, in return for Glorden's safe return, Grigon leave the communiverse and never returns. As Grigon tries to protest, Elio tickles Glorden and makes him laugh. Tortured by his son's laughter, Grigon reluctantly promises on his Hylargian honor to leave the communiverse alone if Glorden is returned to him. but warns Elio that he'd feel his wrath if he touches a single hair on any of Glorden's nubs. To demonstrate the Hylargian Empire's might and keep his son from being vulnerable again, Grigon decides to perform Glorden's ceremony in front of the Communiverse. Shortly after arriving in the Communiverse with a group of soldiers, bringing Glorden's carapace along for the ceremony, Grigon is distracted by Ambassador Questa with her mind-reading abilities until he loses patience and demands his son be brought to him, right on cue as Elio shows up with Glorden. When he asks Glorden if he's ready to become a war machine, he's surprised when Glorden interrupts his speech and says he's ready. Grigon watches proudly as his son enters his carapace and becomes one with it. Satisfied, he has his soldiers retreat and prepares to leave with Glorden. However, Grigon becomes suspicious when Glorden expresses excitement about conquering and pillaging the unworthy. Knowing his son would never say such a thing, Grigon blasts Glorden with his hand cannon, revealing it to be a clone. Confronting Elio over the deception, he forces Questa to read the boy's mind to find out where the real Glorden is. As she reads Elio's mind, learning the full truth about Elio in the process, she reveals Glorden's location, and Grigon departs to search for his son. Upon failing to find Glorden, as the princeling had accidentally sent himself to Earth, Grigon becomes hostile and has his armada capture the ambassadors and destroy the Communiverse until his son is found. But as Grigon tries to attack Elio, Questa intervenes and pushes him back to Earth to save his life. Within hours, Grigon's forces had captured everyone in the Communiverse. Fortunately, Elio arrives in the nick of time with Glorden and Olga, but the former is on the brink of death due to Earth's colder environment. First is to draw the body of the Steel Man, then make the pattern of the belly part for Lord Grigon. Next is to draw the tail of Steel Man, then draw 2 legs in front of the face and 2 legs behind the tail for Lord Grigon. Next is to draw the head, then make the face for Lord Grigon. Finally is attach 2 ears for Lord Grigon. Don't forget to draw the back. So the character Lord Grigon from the movie Elio has been completed. Now, if you like this video tutorial, please like and subscribe button to receive the new notify. At the same time, download the app and go to the website DisneyStore to shopping online, as well as Disney Plus to watch some movies and TV shows for free, used by many peoples of the world. Okay, we'll see you again tomorrow, so thanks for watching and goodbye everyone.